Hello and welcome to the CMP Gamescom special episode. Tonight, Josh, Chosen, and I will be talking exclusively about the Xbox side of Gamescom. And holy shit! That Gamescom's Xbox conference was a little bit insane for one reason and one reason only, that made the internet explode. Rise of Tomb Raider. Holy shit. Guys, Xbox One exclusive. How do you feel?
I am pretty stoked about it, honestly. I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah, you are definitely right. The internet blew up on this one. People are still extremely upset, specifically on the Sony camp side of things. We're also looking at, I've even seen that people have been writing petitions about this, which, guys,
so stupid.
I understand that you really want to play the game, but the fanboyism, it's gone to a whole new level here, and it's just insanity. I mean, you know what? There's great games on both consoles. Don't be a fanboy gamer. Get both consoles. Play games on both consoles.
And you know what? Talking on that point, I want them to shut the hell up, because what it comes down to is I am a humongous baseball fan. I want to play a baseball game, and I can't do it because it's only on Sony. And you know what? I'm probably going to buy a PS4 just because of that. So they can suck it up and buy a damn Xbox One if they care about the game that much.
I completely agree. You want to support the developer, regardless of what console it's on. Buy the console, buy the game, support the developer, play it, so that they can create another one and make it bigger and better.
No, but see, hate is just easier. So they just go straight.
Hate is easier than logic. You are completely correct. I agree with that.
I mean, it's ridiculous, because the simple fact is that these, I also saw a petition for Halo Master Chief Collection to be on the PS4. What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's owned by Microsoft.
I mean, there's not really much I can say to that. I mean, you can't ask for a company to give you an exclusively licensed game that is only owned by that company and nobody else, and bring it over to a console that is their competitor. In all honesty, I mean, I understand that people want to play Halo. Trust me, as a Halo fan, I understand that. I love the game myself. But if you want to play Halo, there is only one place to play it, and that is on Xbox One.
Amen.
Or give it about 2 years and it will be on the PC.
You know what? I never believe any of those PC rumors. Anytime that anybody has any rumor saying Halo's coming to PC, that's about as big of an ongoing running joke as The Last Guardian is when it comes to it ever announcing on a PlayStation, as actually being released.
If I can get you guys also back on the Tomb Raider subject, I also kind of find it hard to believe that this is a Uncharted Nathan Drake copy. I think it's horseshit, because the simple fact is that you can open world all of the reboot Tomb Raider completely. And although it's kind of hard because you get sucked into the, I'm playing through it actually right now. I haven't finished it because I got to deal with games with deals with gold, and it's kind of hard to get off the main campaign. But that whole entire world is open. It's not corridored as much as Uncharted is. And I've played Uncharted 1 and I didn't like it, and I can't get enough of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Danny, all that I can tell you right now is if you do not literally 100% the single player, you fail, sir. That's all that I can say.
Oh, no. Fail. I have not finished it yet. I'm halfway through, and or somewhere through. I'm going through the campaign right now.
I will give you a
51% through. So you're false.
I will give you a challenge then, sir. By the time that you beat the game, you need to have every weapon unlock, every attachment. You need to have every You need to have every little piece of lore and collectibles that have been picked up from everywhere and beaten every single tomb. When you finish the game, it literally needs to read 100% for your campaign total.
You're giving them a hard challenge, man.
All
No,
right.
it's not. It's not. I was able to beat the game and get it on my first shot.
All right, that sounds like a great challenge. But the biggest thing is that, like, how much money do we think that they also spent to get Rise of the Tomb Raider?
But here's the thing: how much money are they gonna make once these fanboys stop crying and buy an Xbox One? They're gonna make money.
So true.
That is the answer right there. I mean, in all honesty, guys, Microsoft has deep pockets, deep pockets, and if they think that the investment is going to be well worth the return that they're going to get for it and pay for itself, then Phil Spencer isn't dumb. He's not going to go out there and blow money just to blow money. This game, I mean, you could already tell by the reaction at E3 from everybody that freaked out when it was like that surprise announcement nobody expected, because nobody expected the development cycle to be that quick of a turnaround. I mean, it's going to be huge.
Well, I mean, realistically, when was the last Tomb Raider before this recent one? It's been years.
Not that long, because there was like the Angel Tomb Raider. I can't think of it off the top of my head. That
Angel
was maybe like 3.
But what I'm
Angel
getting
of
at,
Darkness was only like.
What I'm getting at, Danny, is the fact that sure, it might be 3 years ago, but at the same time, that's 3 years ago, and it's only been one, maybe 1.5.
And to be fair, the one that he's talking about, the last one, it was a top-down Tomb Raider.
Oh, that doesn't count.
If we want to go to the last actual Tomb Raider that was a Tomb Raider, you would be looking at I want to say it's Tomb Raider Legends, and I believe Tomb Raider Legends was only a essentially HD remastering of Tomb Raider 1.
Okay.
From the PlayStation.
That was like, what, 2011?
That was a long time ago.
Earlier than that. It's probably like 2009. All right. Anything else you guys want to cover on that?
No, let's move on to the next topic.
All right. Speaking of exclusives, because I get to say that after Tomb Raider these days, that's how we roll in Xbox. Halo, start the chance behind me and all that. There was a few subjects that started on that were dropped about Halo. We have Halo Guardians Beta, we have the Halo channel, and the Master Chief Collection side-by-side and full screen of the remastered mode, which looked oh so pretty.
Hoorah.
Josh, as the Halo expert in our group, please take it over from here.
Yeah, so Halo was amazing. I cried a little bit, not going to lie.
I pissed myself.
Just a little bit? Actually, I think I imagine you with like tears streaming.
Dude, when they loaded up Halo 2 and did the campaign mode and showed when it originally opened and I saw that screen, I was like, well, that doesn't look that good. And then the guy was like, oh, this is the old mode. I'm like, that would explain it. And then he hit the button and he switched it over to the new graphics and everything. I was just like, oh my God, it looks so good. And the whole time that he's running around, that 60 frame per second.
Oh my gosh.
The tight feel of the controllers and the snap. When he was sitting there and he was running around, he was aiming at guys and he had the elites running out at him. Just the snap shooting and the complete, total precision of the weapons. It looks like everything's been fine-tuned. The sounds amazing. I was completely happy with what I saw. As far as the multiplayer goes, seeing the redone map, Sanctuary, redone, which was a Halo fan favorite. Lots of people spent many hours killing and being killed in that map. I think the biggest Halo announcement, though, that everybody had been waiting for and, sitting on the edge of their seat was, in fact, and I'm going to say this is higher up than the Halo beta, the Halo 5 beta, was the confirmation that the Halo 2 ranking structure of skill-based ranking was confirmed not only in Halo 2, across every single Halo game.
Oh, thank God.
Which is massive. It's absolutely massive.
That's fan service to Halo fans like nobody's business. Like every single, if you are a Halo fan, you were watching that feed and they said that, and you did not get excited, then you have no clue what Halo is. Like,
That's the moment that I pissed myself.
Or you're like me and focused on the single player mostly.
Because you were so bad.
Oh, horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Now, I do want to move from here to the beta, going into Halo news. Halo 5 beta was announced. They said it's going to run for 3 weeks. I believe they said it was the 29th through the 13th or 14th, if I remember correctly. I'll have to check the dates on that.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Of what month?
It's December 29th.
December into January.
Through January, so
Okay.
3 weeks. And my friends, this is not your typical beta that any other studio has given you. We're talking 7 maps, 4v4, multiple different modes. I can't remember the number that they gave, but I do remember that they said that there's going to be more than just one mode in there. We're talking, I think they said between 7 to 10 full suits of unlockable armor for armor customization. We're also looking at the unlock structure. They said that while you're playing this, you are going to be able to unlock things by doing certain achievements or feats in the beta that will unlock content in the Master Chief Collection, and that content will also be carried over and unlocked in Halo 5 when it comes out. So
my God.
I didn't hear that.
There is just so much for Halo fans to like. Such a reason for everybody. I mean, I know Call of Duty is going to come out, earlier in November. But if you're a Halo fan, the second the Halo 5 beta hits, you throw Call of Duty off to the wayside. You literally sit there jacked into your Xbox One and you play Halo for 3 weeks straight.
Dude,
I mean,
the second the Master Chief Collection comes out, you better be in front of your TV for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, and we are talking about doing a stream 24 hours. Chosen, if you could really quickly talk on that.
So Josh and I are going to do a and somebody else if they're wanting to jump in with our group, 24-hour stream of Halo: The Master Chief Collection, starting with the campaign.
Are you doing? Okay.
The date on that has the date on that has yet to be confirmed. Originally, I was going to do it the day of launch. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it that day. I think we're going to have to hold off for like a weekend or whatnot. But still, because I'm actually going to be going and visiting one of our podcast members in California, John. I'll be visiting him that weekend. We're going to be doing 24-hour live stream, starting with the campaign. Legendary, let me highlight that again, legendary campaign run, and I would like to go across every campaign and then from there into multiplayer. It will be a task.
We're going to do it. It's not I would like to. It's happening. I'm confirming it right now.
It's going to be hardcore.
Me too. All right, can you speak, Josh, can you speak more on the Halo channel? Something that they announced today during the middle of the conference.
So I definitely can. Halo Channel is essentially going to be for the Halo fan out there. This is going to be your place for everything Halo, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch Nightfall, if you want to see MLG matches that are featuring Halo, if you want to get making of content, I mean, pretty much anything that is within the Halo universe from what 343 has stated, anything that is going to be in the Halo universe, anything that's added to it, and apparently even if you want to go backtrack lore, that is all going to be accessible within that channel. And I believe they also said, I'll have to double check it, but I believe they also said that from that channel you can actually watch, because they're partnering with Twitch, so you will be able to watch like your buddies, that if your buddies logged in playing Halo right then and there and they're on your friends list, you can actually use that channel to watch your buddies playing Halo and also jump into lobbies and stuff straight from there. So
what's your most excited? Sorry, Chosen.
You could say that this channel is a virtual history book of all things Halo.
That is probably the best way to describe it. And I
Wow,
do want to say one more thing, because there was a lot of confusion when this was first announced. Everybody kind of freaked out because there was a message that was sent out on like the marketplaces of like Droid and Apple and whatnot to people that had Halo Waypoint, pretty much stating that Halo Waypoint was going to be no longer getting support or updates and whatnot. So when this was announced, a lot of people were like, okay, maybe that's why this is going to be replacing Halo Waypoint. They even said that they're not replacing Halo Waypoint. Halo Waypoint will still be around, so you will be able to use Halo Waypoint to access content through your mobile devices.
So what would be your most favorite feature that you think you're going to be having on Halo Channel?
Honestly, on Halo Channel, I am really going to like the ability to be able to watch friends' matches, really everything on it for the most part. I mean, I like the lore of Halo. I like the history, the characters, like everything about it. And to be able to, I mean, I consider myself a big Halo fan, but there's stuff even I don't know. So to be able to go in there and, you know, dive a little bit deeper, like I'm big into the games of Halo and whatnot and some of the comics, but I would enjoy, you know, I've read some of the books, but not all of them. To go get into more stories about other teams and stuff, that would be great.
That would be awesome. I mean, just to find out, like, I mean, if it's going to have an actual virtual history book, it will be covering the time where there was more Spartans. And to be able to just, like, read about other Spartans and whatnot will be very, very entertaining.
All right, so that's Halo. But speaking of betas, speaking of aliens, speaking about lots of guns,
Multiplayer.
Evolve Beta and multiplayer, very, very true. Evolve Beta has been announced. We were all kind of a little depressed, other than maybe Chosen, that Evolve got pushed back. But actually, it really looks like it got pushed back for damn good reason, because it has been announced that February 10th, 2015, the beta starts for Evolved and Xbox One exclusive beta.
I am so sad that Tom is not with us doing this podcast right now, because I would imagine Tom freaking out like a little girl screaming at the top of his lungs, and I really hope that he listens to this podcast when we're done.
I'm pretty sure that Tom did naughty things in his pants after hearing that.
Yeah, it's
one's
going to
for
be
you,
good
Tom.
time.
Yeah. So I wasn't really overly excited. It was like, oh, wow, this looks like a fun game. But I haven't really done that much research into it until I watched this conference. And I went, holy shit, that looks amazing. That is going to be I'm sorry?
I was going to say there was one really cool moment, because they had the guys come out at the Microsoft conference and they were acting – because a lot of people were wondering with this game, is it going to have like an MLG presence to it? Like, is this going to be something that you can get in the Major League Gamer space, and it's going to be a niche type thing? I thought it was really cool that you had announcers come out and actually announce it like a Major League Gamer event, and it was awesome because a lot of people worried that with the monster, even if you leveled him up to the max level, that the four characters, you know, around one another would still be too much for him and take him down, and that if you cornered him or whatnot, that would be it. I thought it was really awesome that they showed that the monster was in trouble. There were 3 characters left, and within a flip of this, like a split second, monster flipped the script, took out 2 characters, dive bombed down on the last one, and just did a massive beat down on him to actually take the match at the end. I thought that was awesome.
It was pretty cool. And the thing is that I'm supportive of games being pushed back a little bit like this, because what they're going to be able to do, I'm really curious, because it wasn't too long ago that they announced they were pushing this back, and then they now turn around and go, oh, now here's the beta. Like, I'm really curious if they went, well, maybe we should have a beta, or if they always had the beta and they just pushed it back.
So here's my thing, and I'm probably the only one in our group that thinks like this, but I'm still skeptical on this game. I'm not 100% sold. I haven't seen enough. It just feel like it would be very, very repetitive gameplay if all we have seen so far is what it is. I need to see more.
And I think I think Chosen, Danny, you can agree with me or go against me if I'm wrong. I think Chosen just hit the nail on the head. I think that is the exact reason why we got it pushed back and why we're getting a beta. For people like Chosen that are not sold on it. I could see that Evolve was popular with people, but I don't think it was as popular as they expected to be, given that this is a studio that did things like Left 4 Dead. I think that they probably looked at pre-order numbers or something like that and said, you know what, we can polish this game more. More time is always better. Why don't we also put out a beta to generate even more interest than what's already out there? And you're going to have people that might, like you with the Destiny beta, you're going to have people that go out there that play this game that walked into it like, I'll try it out, but I'm probably still not going to buy it. And by the end of the beta, they're like, holy crap, I need to pre-order this like now.
Exactly.
I'm also curious, really quickly, we're not going to cover it tonight, but it was shown tonight, was Fable Legends. How is this going to compare? Because it's almost the same setup, but instead of the villain controls the map instead of being a monster. But it's not that far off.
Fable Legend, okay, that's one of those games that I feel like how Chosen felt with Evolve is how I feel with Fable Legends. When Fable Legends
that's how everybody feels about it.
When Fable Legends was first announced, I was really excited. I was like, great, a new Fable game, Xbox One, nice. Then they showed us gameplay. And not going to lie, my heart kind of broke a little bit. I was not jumping up and down excited like I would have been when, Fable 2, Fable 3, or even the HD version of Fable 1 re-released on the Xbox 360 was announced. It doesn't feel like Fable. The art style's all right, the environments are right, the art style of the enemies are right, but it doesn't feel like Fable. Fable is about building your personal journey, your story through a game to become a hero or become a villain and do what you want to do. And this is not doing that. This is forcing you in the role of preset characters and developing their stories as a group. I just don't feel that, other than the fact that it says Fable in front of it and the fact that it is in the world and the art style, I just don't feel like it's Fable.
So here's another chance where I will be different than most, in the fact that I have never been a huge Fable fan. I've tried 1, 2, and I've also tried 3. Haven't liked any of them. But you know what? Now that they're changing the franchise, I might actually like it. And I think that's why they are changing the franchise. They want to get to a different audience. They want to pick up on people that may not have liked it before, but still like the idea of it. And now they're targeting those people.
I think Fable Legends, I mean, comment on this if you guys agree with me or not. I really think that do you kind of get like they're going for I wouldn't say it's 100% completely in that direction, but kind of like a Dynasty Warriors vibe from it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Or what is it, that new game that's going to be coming out on the Wii U from the makers of Dynasty Warriors, that Zelda game, Hyrule Warriors, is that what it is?
Hyrule Warriors, yeah.
Yeah, Fable Legends feels a lot like that. Like, that's the spirit that they're going for, but I don't think they're not hitting it quite.
All right. Well, that's that. So moving on to the next subject. When Remedy Entertainment was saying that they're coming out with a new game, everybody was kind of like, well, they developed Max Payne and they developed Alan Wake.
All I can say is I'm so excited for what you're about to announce.
Quantum Break.
Quantum
Holy
freaking
shit.
Break.
Okay, I
it
am
looks gorgeous.
I just want to say right off the bat, I was not excited for this game. I know, shame on me.
Neither was I.
I was not excited.
I wasn't either.
This game has
I had nothing.
This game has moved from knowing about it and kind of like, I want to see how it works out, to being my most anticipated game. We don't even have a release date on it yet, but for whenever it does come out, whatever year it comes out in, that is my most anticipated game for that year. I do not care what year it comes out in. That's my most anticipated game. It was amazing. It was just, God, the gameplay was so good and beautiful.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm not arguing that I'm really looking forward to the game. I'm not arguing that it looks great. Not arguing that I think it's going to be awesome. But what I am arguing is, if you remember when Watch Dogs was first announced, the trailer, the gameplay, it looked amazing. When we got the game, it didn't look as amazing. I think something very similar is going to happen with this game just because it looked so good. It's too hard to believe. But at the same time, the gameplay and the mechanics looked awesome. So even if it's not as good of quality in picture, I'll still be happy.
I don't think that we're going to deal with what we dealt with Watch Dogs for one reason, Chosen. One reason. This studio. This is Remedy. These guys, I know you both remember Alan Wake. Alan Wake we got told so many times that Alan Wake was going to be getting a release date within the next year. Oh, nope. It's going to be getting a release date the next year. Then eventually we just stop believing. You know what? Just when you're done, let us know, is pretty much how we felt about it. And Alan Wake came out, and it was amazing. I mean, Remedy, that studio, hands down, out of most studios out there, they have just an eye for the craftsmanship that is gaming, that they will not put a game out until it is 100% perfected. Like, they will not do it.
All right.
So I'm a big fan of of how dark it looks. I think that it's exceedingly an adult. I mean, from what we gathered today from watching the preview, and if you haven't watched the preview, definitely should watch the preview of it, was that it was a very adult storyline. It doesn't pull punches, and it goes into, I assume it's probably corporatism or government oversight of and they made it very clear, do anything to get this character. I forget the character's name, but it looks so pretty, and it looks so dark. It looks as dark as Max Payne dark. I'm very excited about it.
The color tones remind me a lot of Alan Wake. Like, the second I saw the trailer, like the dark hues of everything that he was running around, I was like, dude, this looks like Alan Wake. And then where I knew that it was dark, Danny, like where I got that dark tone from it was, when you guys were watching the trailer, do you remember that part where he's like walking, he's gotten past the guys, the lady announcers come over the intercom and they've said he's trying to escape by boat. He makes a call out and he says, I'm not going to be able to make it. And they say, no, come here. The very next announcement is that police officer that says they've heard gunshots, the civvies are getting antsy, and she tells them to stop them or hold the line by any means necessary. And then all of a sudden you hear gunshots in the background. You get to that time freeze, and if you walk close enough to that lady that's holding the guy on the ground, it zooms in on her, and she's holding what I'm guessing to be her husband or obviously a relative. She's crying. That person has a bullet in him, obviously dead or close to it, and you can hear her voice looping, asking the officers why they did it. And once it got to that point, I was like, this is totally an adult game. 100% an adult game.
And, I'm excited for that just because I'm a big fan of not being politically correct. I'm a huge fan of people being bold.
No one ever fucking knew.
I'm a huge fan of people being bold and just saying what they freaking mean instead of what everybody else would think is okay. So the fact that they're doing something that's dark, that's adult, that's scary in our minds It's just, it gives me chills to finally have a game studio that has some balls.
And I want to put one more thing, and I guess then we can move on from this topic. Is what did you guys think of the powers? Like,
I'm so excited for those. It adds a whole new methodology to a third-person shooter.
And I think that it really kind of like almost sustains to what they have theorized about time, especially if it were to break down about having like, you got to avoid these parts because time is exceedingly unstable over here, but your powers allow you to be like over here and it's stable. And then they have the enemies that can walk through your time stop. That guy looked menacing as shit, by the way.
I think it's interesting with the time. Like, I like the ability to where, like, you could, and if you didn't want to stop time as a whole, so you could move around, which, by the way, when that first happened, impressed the living shit out of me. He's taking fire, freezes time, darts away, starts time back up, and they have no clue where he is. They're still shooting on his old location. I thought that was awesome.
I thought that was awesome, yeah.
The other one, which is where he shoots like a time orb or in one single spot, and then he shoots like 5 bullets into it, and the second he releases it, like those bullets hit with even a harder impact than what they would have normally. It was just, so much is right about that game, and I'm so happy to see it.
If it comes out in the first quarter of 2015, would that not make everybody ecstatic?
I think people would be trading in games that they literally bought 2 months prior to that just so that they could get it. Like, that would not surprise me.
I agree.
I think that's going to happen even if it's the holiday season next year.
Oh, it's easily.
I think it's going to be.
Easily.
All right, moving on to the next subject. Now that we are going to go from completely serious to completely and utterly batshit fucking crazy, because we're going to start talking about Sunset Overdrive. They had a really good trailer today, and it gave more credence to a storyline and introduced, robots, because that's a thing now.
Oh, I think we were just out of the loop. It's always been a thing.
Enjoy your apocalypse.
Of course.
The tagline in that game was great. Or welcome to your apocalypse. I can't remember what it was exactly, but
I still remember the trailer from E3 this year, and it was awesome. It was a comedy.
It was
making fun of normal shooters. It was everything that you would want from a trailer of a game that is going to be funny and also fun. And that's what you really, truly want out of a game from this studio. I mean, they're Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, you got to think that this developer, Insomniac, has massive, fucking like the size of Texas balls because of developing this game. It's effing ridiculous, and they're taking the zombie genre, which I really like. Now, technically, these are not zombies; they're infected.
Zombie-esque.
Zombie-esque genre, and going, you know what? Do you know that like Walking Dead like creep? You know that like that Last of Us creep? No, we want you sliding everywhere. We want you to be going faster than a human really should be going, and you're going to destroy all of them in the most extravagant, most crazy-ass ways possible that you're going to be constantly, because we're Xbox gamers right now, we're doing the Xbox one, you're going to be going, oh, record that, a minute later. Record that, a minute later. Xbox, record that. That's how insane this game is going to be. You're going to be wanting recording everything.
We're talking about insanity stuff here, and I just want to go into saying one thing, is that I honestly cannot believe Insomniac even said they took this concept, this game, in front of Sony. The guys that have allowed Insomniac to do Ratchet and Clank, they brought this concept in front of them and said, hey guys, this is what we want to make. Do you want to buy in? Sony said no.
Hell no.
Took it to Microsoft. Microsoft saw it and was like, fuck yeah. Give it to us. We are totally down with whatever you want to do. And every trailer that they have shown has delivered. The comedy is there. The obscene weapons, the bowling ball launcher thing that I saw that has like TNT the teddy bear gun that has TNT strapped to the teddy bear. That's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome.
We were talking about PlayStation fanboys earlier in this podcast, and this is another one that they're so butthurt about. And the combination
at the mouth.
The combination of this game and Tomb Raider, I guarantee the combination of these two games is selling more Xbox Ones to PlayStation exclusive people than all the other Xbox exclusives.
That brings up a very valid point. Is that, do you think that these two games probably coming out, the Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming out probably 2016 or
Holiday 2015. Next year.
Holiday 2015, thank you. And Insomniac's Sunset Overdrive is coming out later this year. Do you think that those two games exclusive alone will bring up the sales to
100%
match?
Well, I think that what's really going to move the needle, guys, I mean, look at it. You've got Sunset Overdrive. I believe it releases October 29th. 1, you got the game. 2, you got the exclusive Xbox One white console bundle, Sunset Overdrive, with a built-in terabyte hard drive, specifically for the game. And you know what comes out right after Sunset Overdrive, like literally the very next month? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and like literally right after that, Halo Master Chief Collection. 3 games stacked.
So here's my question. I missed this. How much is the bundle with the terabyte Xbox?
$499 without a Kinect on the COD.
You are joking.
No, but the COD bundle is the terabyte, and it also comes with the Day Zero edition, which, since it's the Day Zero edition, that makes me think that the bundle is going to be available for people the same exact day that they would normally get the Day Zero edition, which is the day before the actual release date. That's the COD exclusive console. But yeah, it's $500, so it's essentially...
So I'm a little bit beyond pissed off about that.
Because the terabyte.
No. Yeah, 100%. I paid $500 for my system, and it has 500 gigs. People are paying $500 for their system now. It has a terabyte. It's only been a year, and that's already happened.
But you also have the Kinect, and they don't.
I could throw my Kinect in the trash. I have not had it plugged in for probably 8 months.
I'm just saying that it's the difference.
If I can get
you
a
also got
terabyte
it
hard
day
drive
one.
and trade in my Kinect, I'll do it right now.
Well, I know that they're not going to do that, but as far as COD goes, for all the listeners out there, this is our special event podcast. We're going to be doing another podcast that's actually going to cover a lot more in detail as far as Gamescom goes. We've got a Call of Duty expert that we're going to have doing that, so I want to leave all that stuff to him. So Chosen, I want you to bank those things, ask him about it, because Michael is going to literally be able to answer everything that you have as far as that goes. But I do understand what you're saying. The one thing that I always say when it comes to console launches is, that is, for a lot of people, that is unfortunately the bane of being an early adopter. You have 2 different sides to being an early adopter. Side 1 is you get the console early, you're playing it ahead of everybody else. That's the great side of it.
I got it the night it opened. I got it day 1.
Yep, so did I.
Picked it up at midnight, went home, didn't sleep for 3 days because
So did I.
I was
I
that
did not do
much
that.
of
No, I did
a
not do
fan.
that.
I was so
Great.
much of a
right.
head in, I'm going to jump in this water.
And like I said, and that's the thing about being an early adopter is that when you get it, it's amazing. The downside to being an early adopter is that anything that the company learns within the first year, changes, tweaks, whatever it is that might be made, That's something that, that's the price of being an early adopter. You might not, get that stuff. But the one thing, like I said, the one thing that is beneficial to us early adopters is the fact that the console still does have the ability to do the external multiple terabyte hard drives that you can connect up to it, which I actually have connected to my Xbox One right now. I have a portable 2 terabyte hard drive connected to it, and I actually have everything offloaded onto it because of the fact that if you offload all of your storage, or it seems to be if you offload all your stuff that you actually have on the console, apps and games and whatnot, onto the external hard drive, the console actually runs faster because of the fact that it's not having to worry about the data, the storage space that's being taken up on it.
How noticeable is it running faster?
When I did it, I was about I want to say I was about 50% to 50%, maybe to 65% full on my hard drive, and I noticed a pretty vast difference. So right now I'm only at 20. Connecting that up, that dropped me from 60-something% down to 25%. So, and that doesn't even my console pretty much has nothing on its internal hard drive right now.
All right. Well, we mentioned the bundles real quick, so I'm gonna go through the other ones. We talked about the Sunset Overdrive, white,
Yep.
and it comes with the Connect, which is like half black, half white, which is interesting because it's like they couldn't decide. And it comes with the typical headset. It comes with the controller, and it comes with the digital download for the game. COD, let's go back over this real quick, is a terabyte without the Kinect, has a custom Xbox and controller, and the controller can be bought separately, though, which is kind of nice. And finally, they also announced a Europe-only FIFA edition, 2015 FIFA edition bundle.
I'll say what we're all thinking right now. Who gives a living hell about FIFA?
You know what?
This is America.
Dude, I actually am.
The conference was in Germany.
One, it was in Germany. Two, I've actually because of the fact of where I live, soccer has really blown up around where I live, and so I've gotten more into FIFA, especially since it added the MLS, because it actually has a local team of mine there, or in the game, which is awesome. I just wish they'd put the stupid stadium in that they play in, which, that's a grievance to have with EA later. But the one thing I do have to say is, regardless of whether or not you like FIFA, this is the way that I look at it. Microsoft said, and I cannot remember if they said 19 or 29. I am leaning towards 29, but anyways, Microsoft said that they are launching this September in either 19 or 29, like I said, can't remember, countries.
It was 29.
29, okay, 29 countries. Most of those countries are going to be European countries. Now, what is going to push Xbox sales in European countries? Halo, maybe. I mean, a lot of the people that have Xboxes are probably going to get Halo, but FIFA is going to push sales of the Xbox One like nobody's business.
I agree. I had to throw that out there because I am an American and I only care about my
That's
country.
why.
That's why the bundle's UK only. Because it wouldn't do as well here as it does in
Wait, is it UK only or Europe only?
UK, well, I think they said UK only, actually.
They would not sell a single FIFA bundle in the USA.
Wow, how far away do you live from, Texas or California?
Yeah, I would disagree. It would sell well.
I'm being a little.
I was completely joking. That was just BS.
I'm sorry. I misread you. So,
yeah, so did I.
So. All right. So that's the bundles. Unless you guys got anything else?
Nope. Next topic.
All right. Next topic and the final topic for tonight is ID at Xbox. Yeah. There are 26 games that they have announced, 27 actually, excuse me, and we're gonna go through them real quick, and then we're gonna Chosen and Josh, we're gonna really quickly go through what you guys are excited about with these ID at Xbox games. All right, starting with Super Hot, Smite, Below, Cuphead, Space Engineer, Dungeon of the Endless, Connect Fruit Ninja 2, Funk of the Titans, Ghost of a Tale, Goat Simulator, Gunscape, Massive Chalice, Ori and the Blind Forest, Inside, Night Squad, Lovers in a Dangerous Time Space, Hashtag iDarb, No Time to Explain, Plague Inc. Evolved, Rivals of Aether, Slash Dash, Spectra, Numa, Breath of Life, Threes, The Escapist, Volgar the Viking, and finally Speedrunners. That is a lot of games all coming to the Xbox first.
Chosen, you want to start this one off?
What are you guys looking forward to?
So, I'm, again, this might sound different than most, but I am not a huge indie person. I appreciate them for what they are, but at the same time, I don't have all the time in the world to play, and I'm probably going to want to play a really, really good game instead of like a decently good game. But the one game that you mentioned that I didn't even know that was coming is Smite, and I'm really looking forward to that because I like MOBAs. I played League of Legends for a long time. And
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, you're our new MOBA expert, bro.
And Smite is going to be awesome. It's going to be so awesome on the Xbox One with a freaking controller. I don't like mouse and keyboard games. So I get a controller, and that makes me happy.
Josh, how about you?
All right, so there's a few games in here I am actually looking very much forward to. Yeah. Super Hot. That trailer was actually shown at Gamescom. That looks amazing. I also was very happy to learn that, well, I wouldn't say very happy to learn, but something that absolutely piqued my interest in it was that the number one person that helped the studio that did Super Hot to make this game possible via Kickstarter, the number one donator, was Cliff Basinski, guy of Gears of War fame. So if he sees something in this game, that definitely means I want to check it out because I love Gears of War. Gears of War was great.
Didn't hear about that.
Another thing that I'm looking into here is I agree with Chosen 100%. Smite. Totally looking forward to that. Not a MOBA player. I have been scared to death of getting into MOBAs on PCs like League because I have watched some Twitch feeds, and I just feel that the second I jump in there, I would be like cannon fodder to whoever I played against. So being able to get in on like a controller-based level, which is where I'm more familiar with and more comfortable with, I am looking forward to that. Below. Dear God, does this game need to come out? That is that is about all I can say. It looks like Legend of Zelda. It's supposed to also be like difficulty levels of Dark Souls, and to me that is just the most and there's going to be co-op in it. So just so much amazingness going on in that game. I can't wait for it. Let's see what else we got here. The Escapist looked really cool. The brief presentation that they showed, a little 8-bit prison escape game, that looks really cool. One that you guys might not have got as much of, and the only reason I know about this game is because I watched the Xbox Twitch group do play this game. That was iDarb. iDarb is actually really cool. Looks like a lot of fun. It's kind of like a sports game in horrible 8-bit style. But it looks awesome. And then the final one I'd have to say on here that I'm really excited for, I'm checking the list here really quick to make sure I didn't miss any of them. Nope, didn't miss one. Okay, great. Well, actually, there's two. Cuphead, just because of its art style. Really interested to play that.
Yep.
And the final one, and we are actually going to have one of our experts, one of our other podcast hosts, John, on the podcast on Sunday, and he's going to be able to speak to this because he knows more about it than I. Ori and the Blind Forest. That game, so many feels, guys. So many feels going on in that game. All the feels. I watched that trailer again today because I saw it at E3, thought the artwork looked beautiful. Watched it again today, and even without story or text or anything, the one moment in that game that made me decide, in the trailer that made me decide, and this is the same thing at E3, that made me decide I have to play this game, was that the moment when the character that you play, which I'm guessing is Ori, when he walks up to that bigger guy that kind of finds him and tries to give him something and starts like pushing him, and I'm guessing realizes that he's dead. That moment to me just like, I don't know what it was about it. There was just a lot of feels going on, and I was like, if a trailer can make me feel this way about a game, I need to experience the whole thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know. I completely agree with you. Actually, I agree that Superhot looks great. Smite. That's one of those games that I wouldn't mind waiting to see it on deals for gold. But it's probably also going to be a game or games with gold, and then I'll turn around and go, oh shit, I really wish I bought this when it came right out.
Well,
and I have a feeling Chosen will pull me right through.
One of the two of you better strap up and buy it with me, because MOBAs need to be played together. So strap up and be ready.
You know what? I'll guarantee this for you. I will guarantee this for you right now, Chosen. When the game comes out, as a group, the CNT, which is what we call ourselves, we're not doing the podcast, cleverly named team, as a group, yes, Danny, I know that you are probably like, I don't want to do this, but we're going to do it anyways. Just like some of us don't want to buy Call of Duty, Chosen, but we're going to do it anyways when it comes out because we want to play it as a group.
I have to buy Call of Duty
for me, by the way.
I know, right?
You're committing my money for me. Thank you.
We will get Smite so that all of us that were afraid to play MOBAs and it's not really our game, we can all get into playing the MOBA together as a group. And that way you have people to play with. That way we can experience it, and we're not going up against people from across the world that would literally destroy us and eat our souls.
All right. So
even though you might do that, I don't know how good you are at it, but still, at least it would be somebody that I know doing it to me rather than some random face.
So just to clarify, I have to buy Call of Duty?
Yes.
All right. As long as I understand that.
All right, back to the games I'm looking forward to from ID and Xbox. No, Space Engineer is something I've been watching on YouTube on and off. It's not as cool as Kerbal Space Program.
I'm sorry, Danny. You are going to have to convince me to get that game. You are going to have to tell me something right now that is going to convince me to even touch that game.
I'm not going to try. I think that's such a niche game that I'm interested in it, and I'm not expecting anybody else to be interested in it. Except for the people, if you liked Kerbal Space Program, you probably will like this to some degree. Take Kerbal Space Program and combine it with Minecraft. Do you even know what I say when I mean Kerbal Space Program?
Yep, I know exactly what you mean when you say Kerbal Space Program.
Such a good game.
Tom's probably rolling over in his sick bed right now because of the fact that I was dissing that game. But
Goat Simulator. I want to pick up this game just to have fun with it, but then I just want to watch PJ or one of our other commentators and teammates. I just want to see PJ. I don't know why. I want to see PJ play that game so bad. I think it has to do with his hillbilliness mostly.
He's from Ohio.
I thought I was the hillbilly.
No, you're the redneck.
Oh wait.
No, yeah, he's the redneck. No, Chosen's the redneck. PJ's the hillbilly because it's state of mind. It doesn't matter where you're from. You can be from New York City and still be goddamn hillbilly.
That's true.
Inside looks good because I forget who was the developer that they made a really good game. Limbo. They made Limbo, didn't they?
Oh my god. I was just okay. Nope, I'm looking forward to that too. Wow. Sorry that I missed that one. Whoever is listening, I will shame myself on that.
I'm looking forward to No Time to Explain just because of the title. I have no idea what that thing is. I just really like the title. Just saying. Like, I'm going to be disappointed in that game, but I imagine that game starting off with, like, dogs sitting in the front of a vehicle going, get in the car, there's no time to explain.
Titles, the new trailer. We won't show you anything except for the title. And if it's really interesting, you will be so confused that you have to buy the game. Coming soon to Xbox One.
Well, that would also cover Lovers in a Dangerous Time Space.
What? That just Lovers in a Dangerous.
Yes, thank you. There's
why?
Time Space. Yes.
What does that mean? Did they get caught cheating or something? Like, is that what we're going for?
Who the fuck knows?
Nobody knows.
No, there's some guy that will be listening to our podcast for the first time, screaming at us, going, "This is what it's about, you dumbasses!"
I'm sure there's somebody out there right now that probably is gonna roll over in their grave when we don't know anything about it.
Well, if you guys have that opportunity where you are upset at us for not knowing something, we have an email address, and Danny will tell it to you now.
And a Twitter account.
Yeah, our Twitter account is cleverly named pod, and our email account is cleverlynamedpodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Now I don't have to do it at the end of the podcast.
I want to articulate.
Although it's probably going to be repeated.
I want to articulate our Twitter account because if we say it quick, it sounds like something it isn't. It is cleverly name NAME pod POD. That is what it is. That is our Twitter. Yes, Danny, that is what it is.
Okay. I have something different.
Because of that stupid character limit that Twitter has. If PJ was here right now, he would be swearing and cussing at Twitter.
He would. This is accurate.
And I'd be going, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I know, right?
Censoring him for the fun shits and giggles of it all because I've been cursing the most tonight. The final two games that I'm interested in is The Escapist, because for some odd reason, I feel like that game is a lot smarter than it looks, and I think it looks really goddamn smart.
The Escapist, that is the prison escape game, correct?
Yeah, the little 8-bit one.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll probably get that game just for the fact that I've always wanted to break out of prison.
Chosen, I think you have, and you're just lying about it.
Prison Break. Prison Break, the simulator.
In 8-bit. And color. Finally, and then I want to touch on two games because I think it's a really interesting subject to close out the podcast.
Okay.
Or the special podcast that we're running. Speedrunners is a game that I watched on Achievement Hunter. It's a YouTube station, and it looks ridiculously fun. It's a racing game, and it's like how do I describe this? It's a racing game, and there's three you run on walls and you run on the ceilings and such as long as you have the right momentum.
I think I've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw that. I was on. Yeah. I'll have to check it out after the podcast.
Yep. So the two games I wanted to touch on were Plague Inc. Evolved, which is just Plague Inc. put onto the Xbox, and Threes. These are two mobile-first games. They were never they were not designed for the computer, but then were brought to the computer and now being brought to the Xbox.
Are they just being ported, or are they getting a rebuild?
Threes looks like it's getting ported, and Plague Inc. looks like it actually has been redone.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm actually kind of okay with Plague Inc. because they've redone it. And what they've shown has been like, instead of like just for everybody who doesn't know, Plague is a game that you kind of like try to kill off the whole entire world by being a disease.
Excellent. There's people that need to die.
No, and your goal is to kill everybody.
Oh, well, that's
like all 6 billion of us.
So genocide of the world.
Yeah, pretty much. No, is it genocide if you're not focusing on one group?
Can I only kill
I'm
soccer?
focusing on humanity. If I'm focusing on humanity, technically that is a group.
I would like to only kill soccer. That is my goal.
No, PJ, or not PJ, Chosen. Your goal is to get this podcast so successful that we can have all of our followers create a Major League Baseball game through Microsoft Studios.
This is correct. We are going to mention this every single podcast because
Until
that
it happens.
is the goal. We
about
need a Major League
podcast
Baseball game.
50.
Yes.
About podcast 50, I will be hosting, or someone will be hosting. We go, now we're going to insert the obligatory, we want baseball on Microsoft. Now that we've moved on.
Yeah, we've moved on.
So the other game is Threes. Threes looks like it's a straight port from the computer, but have either of one of you played Threes or anything like it?
What is
I
it?
have not.
I don't know what it's about, so I can't say I've played something like it.
Okay, so you're on a grid and you start off with 2 numbers, and they're both threes. I think I played a different version of it. It uses the alphabet instead of the number 3, and you're trying to get to a certain number, and it's one of those games that you don't know why it's addictive, but it's really fucking addictive. But what bothers me is that everything I've seen of it looks like it's a straight port from the mobile. So. That's interesting, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so actually, we have a surprise little thing. Chosen, let's have you close out for us tonight.
Okay. So, as everybody should know, we have lost a very, very incredible man this week. And it just could not go without being said. What I'd like to do...
I think real quickly, though, is that we'll also probably mentioned it in the podcast before this, but I completely agree. It's absolutely fresh. So, Chosen, if you would continue.
What I would like to do, and it's almost bringing tears to my eyes even saying this, I would like to share our favorite, probably maybe 2 movies that he was in, and just why we thought he was such a great man. I mean, just he was incredible. But I will let somebody else start this.
I'll go ahead and start it. Yeah. The fact that Robin Williams is no longer with us is honestly a tragedy. And if I had to say my 2 favorite movies that he ever did, one of them would have to be The Dead Poets Society. I absolutely loved that movie. The first time I watched it was actually in school. It had nothing to do with... it was not a movie I would have chose to watch, but after I watched it once, I have probably seen it easily over 12 times, probably in the range of 20 times. The other one would be Good Morning Vietnam. Such a good movie. Both of those, such amazing performances that he was able to do. And that's not even his comedy stuff. I mean, Good Morning Vietnam kind of is, but his more serious roles are what I think a lot of people...
is. It has very big comedic parts.
True. But as far as like his more serious roles, I think that's what people always kind of... He was known for his comedy, but his serious roles are where I feel he absolutely shined. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Dead Poets Society so much, is that it's just not... He's got a charisma about him in it, and it's so good. And the only thing I would like to say to it is at the very end of it, I would love to stand up on my desk right now, but I'm afraid I would break it. All I'm going to say is seize the day, boys, carpe diem, and oh, Captain, my Captain.
I'll go next. My first favorite movie from him is the reason why I loved him. I idolized Robin Williams. And I'm actually not going to pick exactly my two favorites. These are like I'm very much 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E with him. Because I mean, Miss Doubtfire, Jumanji, all Dead Poet Society, such great movies. And but I like two very different movies. Aladdin. He is effing insane as the genie, and it brings out his full comedic bag without his usual topics, which was like politics and where you're from and like sex. That like if you listen to his stand up, that's what it was. Now it got very different and very weird. One of my favorite lines is that a baby looks like Winston Churchill and Gandhi had sex and then dipped in 40 weight.
Speaking of his stand up, I'll do my favorite line real quick. He was talking about when he quit drinking, and he said, "The moment I realized that I needed to quit drinking is when I woke up with my ignition key up my ass. I was trying to go somewhere."
If we're going to talk about stand up, I want to do one more. And this is actually a running joke between me and a huge group of friends. And we seem to always bring it up every single time we get together. I don't know how it gets weaved into conversation. But it was when he was talking about when he would say how the game of golf became invented. When he was like, I knock a ball in a gopher hole. And the whole thing that comes from that just is absolutely hilarious. And he's like, oh, you mean like bowling? He's like, fuck no! I put the hole hundreds of yards away. Oh, it's a straight shot. Yeah. Fuck no, it's not a straight shot. I put trees and tall grass and bushes in the way to fuck with your ball. Oh, this is brilliant. just to give you some hope, I'm gonna put a little flag right at the end. And every single time you're gonna swing, you're gonna feel like you're gonna fucking die. Oh shit, that's what we'll call it, a stroke. Just that whole thing is amazing to me. Every single time I hear it.
Yeah. Okay, Danny, back to your movies.
So I love Aladdin. You get a taste for what he is when he's just interacting, like the ad-lib shit that that he was doing really quickly, and they added it in the movie because it's Robin Williams. But the other movie is something that's just as funny, but has a lot more meaning and is a lot more adult, which is The Birdcage. And
so good.
It's so good, and because I think it's because Robin Williams is in it. And one of my favorite lines is when he's directing Nathan Lane in the hot young. Wow, that sentence just came out of my mouth. But the
hot young Nathan Lane.
No, not hot Nathan Lane. I was about to say hot young man because that's what he's propped up to be. Is this dream of gay Nathan Lane's fairy character, and he's directing how this young man should feel on the inside, and he just goes you should be like Madonna, it just goes off and just starts dancing across the stage, and it's hilarious. But it's also very I don't think it gets enough credence in the same vein as Good Morning Vietnam did with war and him, and Dead Poet Society did with teaching, and Patches did with doctors and the healing of laughter and all that, which everybody seems to be forgetting Patches, by the way. And
I mean Patch Adams.
Is it Jack? Patch Adams, excuse me, and Jack with teasing and stuff like that. But The Birdcage is so good because I heard someone else say it. It was it's a really good movie to look back and go, everybody just wants to be loved, and it has a really good message while being particularly funny. And seeing Robin Williams as a crossdresser and Nathan Lane as a crossdresser is really fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm probably, I can't even say two, but just because this movie, all of his work is amazing, but this movie just stands above all. And I don't know if either one of you guys have seen it. It came out in like the 80s. But
I think I know what movie you're talking about, but continue.
The World According to Garp.
No, I did not see this.
Neither one of you
No.
guys have seen this?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So, this movie, you both need to go watch it. And when you're done watching it, you will say, what the hell did I just watch? And then you'll watch it a second time, and you'll say, what the hell did I just watch? But the third time you watch it, that's the time when you start to appreciate it. You start to see, you always saw the comedy of it, but this is the time where you start to see the serious, the very adult tones in the comedy both molding together just to make such a work of art. It's just one of those things that just, I can't express enough how great of a work of art it truly, truly is. There's probably my favorite scene of this movie, and you'll just realize how awesome it is when I tell you this. Him and his newly married wife are looking for a house, and they're looking at this house, and they love the house. In comes a plane. A plane crashes into the house. Robin Williams looks at the realtor and says, "We will take it." And his wife just looks at him and says, "What? Why would we take this?" And he just says, "What are the chances of another plane hitting this house? We'll take it." So then, a couple seconds later, the pilot gets out of the plane, crawls out, and he just looks at him and says, "Mind if I use your phone?" And the guy's like, "If you can find it, go ahead." It's just that scene, like, what are the chances of another plane hitting this house? I mean, where would you see that coming? You don't see it coming because that is what Robin Williams was. He was a blindsider. You're thinking I'm going to go this direction? Nope, I'm going the other one. I'm going the exact opposite just to screw with you. That's who this man was, and that's why everybody in this nation pretty much appreciates this man. And that is why it is terrible, terrible that we lost this man this week.
Well said.
Two things to bring this around to gaming. Did anybody really know how much he loved Legends of Zelda, or Zelda, the video game? Legends of Zelda. Sorry, my mind's.
He named his daughter after Princess Zelda.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. He actually was in a he named his daughter after Princess Zelda, and Nintendo found out about this, and they actually approached Robin Williams, and they actually shot a commercial with him and his daughter playing on 3DSs when the Ocarina of Time reboot came out on the 3DS.
Wow.
It has a picture of them playing 3DSs together, and it was because of the fact that he loved the game so much that's what he named his daughter. He named his daughter after Princess Zelda.
That is insane.
And the other thing I saw real quickly today, I tried to look up for it while Joseph was speaking. I wasn't trying to disrespect you, sir. But was that League of Legends community got together for a petition, and the petition got enough signatures that I'm pretty sure that they're going to have Robin Williams as a character. I don't know if it's playable. I don't know what exactly it is, but they're looking to get Robin Williams in that game.
That is freaking
That's
amazing.
awesome.
So now
That's that.
League of Legends just needs to come to Xbox One.
True that.
Actually, that's you know what? Maybe we revisit that in another time and go, how in the hell can we get these MOBA games on these consoles without it being like Smite, which is first person?
We will see how Smite works out as a MOBA and on Xbox. So that'll be kind of the first
All
one
right.
to do it.
All right, guys. I think that's all the time we have for today. Unless anybody's got anything else.
All that I want to say is, for those of you listening, we're going to have another podcast. It's going to go up soon. It's going to be more in depth. It's going to have more of our CNP hosts on it, more in-depth detail, more reactions from Gamescom 2014. So you know what? If you guys liked what you heard here, or if this is what you're listening to now, then thanks for listening to the other one first. But if you haven't listened to the other one and you liked what you heard here, please hop on over, listen to that, and thanks for listening to the Cleverly Named Podcast.
All right.
Chosen
Tweet your questions,
off.
comments, and concerns. whoa.
Live long
tweet your
and
questions,
prosper.
comments, and concerns to at Cleverly Named Pod or Cleverly Named Pod, or shoot an email to cleverlynamedpodcast@gmail.com. All right, guys. I hope you have a good night.
And as always, live long and prosper.
Oh, Jesus Christ.